Okay, let's try this one more time. Okay, so first video wasn't so successful. Um, the mechanic that I want to discuss is the dot product, or it's kind of like the detection in a stealth game would be the best example that I could give you. There's different math behind it that I haven't fully researched all of the math yet, but the basis of it is pretty simple to understand. So here's a good example, right? Just 1 second. Now, after the kill, he can be seen at a certain point here. I get the wrong spot in the video. You cannot be seen when you are behind the enemy, obviously, right? So, the way this works is that this guy is facing straight in one vector. This guy is facing another vector. If these vectors are in the same direction, it means that he can be seen. If they are in opposite directions, it means he cannot be seen. It's a little iffy on the circle, on the perpendicular angle, because that gives you a return of 0. So I guess depending on what you set your math to, you can change those factors. That was a 0 where he attacked him from a 0 perspective. Okay, so now let's go back to what the actual definition is. The actual definition is it's an algebraic operation. It takes two equal length sequences of numbers, usually coordinate vectors, and returns a single number. That's probably the easiest way to explain it, but it's also the least descriptive. So let's go to the video that I had for the technical references. Here is a perfect example of the player is A, the enemy is B. So A can see the enemy will return a value of 1 if the lines are facing in the same direction. If the lines are in opposite directions, you'll get a result of -1, which is non-detection. If it's at a right angle or perpendicular in any way, that means that you will get a 0. So basically, I made a little flowchart here to go back over it with you. My examples here: enemy direction is red, forward is the direction of the player's vision. So here's a perfect example. If the player is looking forward and the enemy is looking forward, the enemy would be looking forward this way. The direction of the enemy is the same direction as the player's sight, which will return the value of 1. If you have the opposite, where the player's sight is the opposite of the direction of the enemy, you'll get a -1, which is obviously that's the value that cannot be seen. And this depends on the conditions, but you will return a 0. Whether this is a right angle this way, up, down, left, right, any type of perpendicular math here will cause that to be a detection or non-detection, depending on how you set the math to be. So, in a nutshell, there's going to be more games that I'm going to have to find for reference on this, but stealth games are very popular. Everybody loves stealth games. This is probably my favorite one, Tenchu, from way back when. But and this is probably the one that first, as far as my experience goes, it's the one that first made really good use of this mechanic. Well, let me see. Make sure my video is of good length, and I'm really glad that you've been paying attention. Let's hope that next week I do just as good a job. All right, thanks. Bye bye.